video. Why can't I get that? No, I'm gonna redo that. Hey everyone, Krissy here with 2 sheep, 1 wheat, and today's video is a comparison video on these 2 games, Dune Imperium and Lost Ruins of Arnak. These are 2 videos that are actually pretty popular on my channel these days, so I figured why not make a comparison video on the 2 since they are so similar. They're both deck building games and they're both worker placement. So let's see what I think about them. Get these big boxes out of the way. Okay, so as you see, we might as well just start off with the boards. So as you can see, between these 2 boards, this one is a little bit less pretty. We'll call it less pretty. It's not as busy as this one. This one is beautiful. It's gorgeous to look at, but it is busy. You can find things easily on the board, right? You can, but once you have things on here, you're looking at it, it gets lost. But it doesn't take away from the fact that it is still beautiful to look at. This board is a little bit more bland, but you can clearly see where everything is. The colors aren't as bright either as this one, but because of the theme, this is more spacey theme. I wouldn't even say that you could tell by looking at it that it is a spacey theme. But Arnak, you can tell what this is, really, from the theme, right? You have all of these things here, just the color, all the gems and everything, and you know that this is a temple by looking at it. Both of these games come with player boards too. The Arnak one, let me just get everything all the way here. Move that. So the Arnak one here, very, very themey. It goes with the board. Now what I like about this too is that every player board is a different color and it actually matches the cards that go with it. They are double-sided. I've only ever played on this side. I haven't played on the other side, but these are just gray tents. They just go with everybody. And there are some extra benefits that you can gain from the player board too. And now with Dune, they have a player, I'm having a hard time here. They have a player area. It's just a card, but again, it does have, just like here on the Arnak one, it does have extra benefits that you can get throughout the game. Now what they did with theirs is they actually added the player aid right in the back of it. Right there. It was awful nice of them. I always play with everything on my player area, so I never even realized that this was in the back of it until I think I watched a video on it. So that's not a bad thing for me. The one for Dune comes with all of the players too, from all of the different sections. So you get to pick your player, and each of them do come with a different effect for those. Now, for cards, now to play both of them, of course, because they are deck building, you're playing with cards for both of these. Now, I'll stick with Dune over here. Like I said, the board is a little bit bland on Dune, and the cards have the most artwork, I would say. It's probably the better looking part of the whole game is the cards to it. Now the cards do have benefits on here as well. You can play them to be able to move your worker, right? Because it is worker placement. So you could play a card with one of these icons right here, which goes with the board. So you can move your person on the board, and that is how you're allowed to do that, which is very similar with Arnak over here, Lost Ruins of Arnak. You can play cards which allow you to place your worker. So they're very similar in that way. Now, whenever you do play a card, you can either play it to move your worker or you can do it to gain a benefit. So that's kind of where they come, where they're a little different. you can play one or the other for these ones. These ones for Dune, you can place your worker, but then if you do have this little area right here, you get a benefit with it as well. Now, if you notice here, there are numbers. So if you keep those cards in your hand, you get to purchase cards later on, towards the end of the game, right? But with this one, if you use, is it in this one? Let's see here now. So they cost gold to purchase these. Now, that is how you are buying those cards as well, but you can do it as an action in Arnak. As an action, you can purchase a card. So again, similar game, a tad different when it comes to cards. So with these ones, again, you're purchasing a card as an action, but with the card, you are placing your worker or gaining a benefit. Dune, you're placing a worker and gaining a benefit with the cards. Now with the cards in both of them, you do gain resources. So resources with Dune are wood. Resources with 𝗧𝗓𝗏𝗧𝗔𝗠𝗣𝗏 of Arnak are plastic, and there is a little bit of a difference here. So with with Dune, here are the resources. They are wood. They're not very distinguishable. Again, water would probably be the only one that is distinguishable. So water as a resource, and then of course the spice as a resource, and this is the 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏, which is kind of a currency. Kind of a currency in the game to pay for certain things. Now with Dune, oh my gosh, with Arnak, these are the resources with Arnak, which are a little bit more distinguishable. You know that this is a scroll. You know that this is a arrowhead. And these are gems. Very clearly, you can tell. And I'm pretty sure 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 of Arnak definitely takes the cake with the resources, being plastic, what they are what they are. And whereas Dune, they are wood. They're not just punch out cardboard tokens either. So that is a plus, but less distinguishable for me anyway. So those are the comparison between the resources. So that is how the game is similar, but yet a little different at the same time. Both of them play really well. I enjoy playing both of them. I think, like thematically, I think 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 of Arnak kind of take the cake with this one too. I would say the only thing that I don't really like about 𝗧𝗏𝗏𝗧𝗏 of Arnak is this extra board here that it comes with. Now it won't open for me. Wrong end. I would say that there's not really a point to this board. It's really just for placing your resources on here and placing some of the tiles that come with it, and some of the researchers, and then a spot for your magnifying glass, which is how you search up in the temple here. So this would go down at the bottom. Now I feel like the only reason that they did put this here is just solely for this right here, to have a place to put it. We don't even use it at all. We just keep it in the box. And then we keep our notebook and our magnifying glass. We keep our notebook and our magnifying glass on our player board here. So there's really no point for this board, really. Like, there are cards for Dune that just stay on the side of the board too. So we don't use this. I don't really think that it needed this. And I think that would be really my only complaint for Arnak. Really, I don't really have any complaints about Dune either per se, other than the board is a little bland, but the gameplay is pretty good. Pretty good. I enjoyed this one. I feel like whenever I bought this one and we played this one, I had this one in the back of my mind, and I enjoyed this one a little bit better until I played this one a couple more times. Then I really enjoyed this one. I think just aesthetically pleasing to my eye, and it kind of draws you in. It makes you feel like you are really in the game. And play-wise with this one, I feel like it's not as complicated. You're placing your workers, you're defeating guardians, you're collecting resources, you're purchasing cards. And I guess researching the temple too, but yet again, just basically giving you extra points. Whereas Dune, I feel like maybe a little bit more complicated. You are placing your workers, but there's a bunch of different places where you can place your workers, and they all give you different benefits. There's a bunch of cards. You can actually, I'll move this out of the way. There is battle in this game. There's different ways to gain the victory points for the end, right? You're building relationships with different factions. You're, again, collecting resources. And what I like about this one too is that you actually have the opportunity to gain an extra worker. So it makes the game go a little bit longer. You know, it takes a little bit to actually gain that extra worker, but it really is beneficial towards the end. So overall, both are really good games. I think in this moment, I would have to say that Arnak is probably the game that's coming out ahead on this one. One, because of the theme. It is just really cool. It's a really cool theme. The way that everything plays and how it flows together is really, really well. I think the decision on that is the art, the board on this one. I am really also, how I enjoy a game is by playing it and the atmosphere and how much fun that I am playing. And I think this one did it. So if you're thinking about getting a game between Dune Imperium or Lost Ruins of Arnak, I think I'm going to have to go with Lost Ruins of Arnak on this one. But let me know what you think in the comments below. Am I right or am I wrong? I'll catch you guys next video. Wait, what? What is happening? What is happening? I don't understand this.